So here we are with the last class of the chapter, and here you'll see that the most important are land distribution, farm labor and non-farming activities. Okay, so in the previous class what we have seen about the multiple cropping system, we have seen about the sustenance of land, and we have also seen the means of using the chemical fertilizers in the farming lands. So now if you see that the land distribution, that what do you think that what I have said in the first class, that there are how many families in Palampur? 450, right? This is the amount. And we have also seen that 1/3, that is 150 families in Palampur are the Dalits who are just the landless, right? They are just landless, they have no land of their own. So here we can say that the majority of the Indians are what? They are the landless. Okay, they are the landless laborers who have to depend on some other farmers, either be it medium or large farmers, for their occupation. Okay, for their source of income. So here you will see that I have subcategorized the land distribution pattern into three parts, that is large farmers, medium farmers and small farmers. Large farmers are those who are having more than 10 hectares of land. Medium farmers are those who are having more than 2 hectares of land, and small farmers are those who are having less than 2 hectares of land. And here you will see that these large farmers, they are they are rich, and they need laborers for their farming activities. And then the medium and small farmers, you will see that these medium farmers, they are having the subsistence kind of farming, and small farmers, they have to depend on some others, because this is not this is not enough for their consumption. Area of land is not enough for farming. So here, if you see that the large farmers, they are rich, even they are quite having the knowledge of bank account where they are keeping the savings for the next year's harvesting and plugging, and also they are employing the laborers, this kind of laborers, the landless laborers. And here you will see that the medium and the small farmers, they are mainly dependent on the money lenders. Okay, they are dependent on money lenders and traders for any kind of farming activity, and they are often become a victim of debt trap, because they are not always, you will see that they are coming with the the amount of money which they have taken from the money lenders, and they often have to sell their lands. So you will see that the most of the small farmers in India are also coming into these categories only because they are losing their land for any kind of debt trap from the money lenders or the traders. And these money lenders, if you see that they are charging high rate of interest, okay, they are becoming a kind of victim, okay, and they are not so strong, because sometimes what happens, sometimes due to crop failure, due to if you see the change of climate, and then they are becoming easily vulnerable to such kind of situations where they are becoming big failure to repay the loan back by selling the farm products. Now if you talk about the farm labor, that what is the condition of laborers in farming activities, if you see that these laborers, they are paid in cash or in crops. So these landless laborers or the small farmers who are losing their land, they have to depend on the large farmers. These kind of laborers have to they are being paid in cash or crops. And then on to the next point, if you see that hired on daily basis for sowing, harvesting and sowing and harvesting. So they are hired on daily basis because what? They are the seasonal employers. Okay, they are the seasonal employers, and these seasonal employees are often termed as what? Disguised employment. Right, disguised employment. Seasonal employees are what? Because if you are having a crops in your land, the laborers are being required only during the harvesting and plugging time, and the rest of the year it is not required. So it is seasonal. Because disguised employment is what? It is nothing but the more employment are being engaged in the field which is not required. Suppose in a farmland, to grow 10 hectares of wheat, suppose 100 laborers are required. But if you see that in Indian pattern of farming, if 100 is required, 120 are being engaged. So what? 20 are extra, this is not required. So this is the clear concept of disguised employment. So these two terms can be well accounted with this kind of, daily base for sowing, harvesting, the wage earners of in the farm, as a farm laborers in the farmland. Is it clear? You see that Indian government has given the criteria for daily wage earners as 115 per day. But in Palampur it is 75 to 80. It is not in Palampur, it is the same case with other parts of India. Because the government rate, what the government has fixed for the daily wage earners is never being followed. Because why? Because the competition is high, because the rate of unemployment is right. People are dying for food, they are having no income. So they are, always ready for any kind of wage you want to give to them. Okay. So in Palampur, the government rate is 115, but they are getting only 75 to 80 rupees per day. Okay. The choice of additional engagement. Additional engagement is what? If you see that these farm laborers, if they are not getting job after the plugging or harvesting period, then what they are doing? They are becoming the rickshaw wallahs, they are becoming the tonga wallahs, they are becoming the small shopkeepers near bus stands. Okay, so the additional engagement are there. And again, they are also migrating for better employment. They are also migrating from into other villages for small scale manufacturing, or if you see, they are also migrating to the towns as a laborers, as a industrial workers, right? So some live on the mercy of local moneylenders. This point I have already mentioned, that if I am a farmer, I am having not enough money for plugging seeds, for buying chemical fertilizers, or I have the educational facilities, what I will do? I have to take money from moneylenders. And when, suppose my crop is in return is not coming well, the production is not coming well due to bad climatic condition or crop failure or any kind of diseases, crop diseases, then what? I have to sell my land for paying the loan back. Now, the non-farm activities includes what? If you see, I have also mentioned this point, that dairy farming is there. Dairy farming is very important in India, because if you see Amul, Amul is what? Amul, if you find in this sector, you will find in Gujarat, where it is located in Anand, and Amul is the biggest dairy farming in India. Okay, and dairy farming is what? Here, if you see, that the workers who are not getting job in farming sectors, they are getting easy job on dairy farming, because they are having what? Collection comes filling sectors, where they have to collect the milk, they have to packet the milk, they have to transport the milk, and also they have to sell the milk, right? So this is what? Jaggery in Indian terms, if you say, this is what? Gur. Gur is very important in India, because why? If you talk about the Indian rituals, again, if you talk about the the syrups which we uses in the foods, maybe the donuts or the chocolatey sandwiches. Here you will find the jaggery production. The importance of jaggery production is very important. Retailers of the villages are dependent on the wholesalers of the towns, and they are bringing goods from the wholesalers of the towns, and they are selling the same goods to the villages. Again, the farmers, they have to bring the farming equipment, the tools, the threshers, the HYVCs, the chemical fertilizers, everything from mainly from the towns only. Yeah, the sectors are there in village areas also for such kind of selling, but it is this transportation helps to join the the center of production to the center of consumption. So this is very important. Having what? Family laborers for farming. As I have already said, that in farm labor only, if you see that the laborers are mainly belonging from their own family. Okay, they are not engaging laborers from outside, mainly the medium or the small scale farmers. Except large farmers, they are not borrowing laborers from outside, because it is quite expensive. Okay, then if they buy products from wholesale market from cities, as I have said, the retailers in villages, they have to depend on the wholesale marketers from cities, and they are purchasing their goods which they sell in their shops in the villages. And eatable small shops are close to the bus stand. This I have also mentioned. So this is very important, students, that If you talk about here, if you talk about the banking system, the formal sector of economic activity and the informal sector, this is very important. That informal sector, the banking system is helping enormously the laborers for giving the loans in low interest, and in informal sector the money lenders are giving loans. Here informal sector is also important because here you don't require any kind of collateral security to take loan. But this is the problem which remains in informal sector is what it charges high interest, which is quite often impossible for the farmers to repay. So this is the story of Palampur. Remember students that this is the miniature of the entire India in total, and this is very important because this gives us the idea of production. Okay, this gives us the idea of economic activity, how the poorest people of India are being engaged in the economic activities. And this is the first chapter we come across. So this is the end. Okay, thank you.